Hi, just wanted to get on here and just kind of touch base with everybody. I am now home and just kind of recapping what an amazing trip of a lifetime this hike was for me. Again, if I would have thought back 10 years ago, I'd have never guessed I'd have done something like this. So hats off to Carrie for encouraging me and I thank her for inviting me. Just glad I said yes. Some of the things I think I talked about earlier was the people that you meet on the trail. First off, I want to give a big thank you to Beth Cresswell. She let me keep my truck at her place in Maryville. She's a friend of Carrie's from Florida, and I met her originally a few years ago. She met us at a trailhead as we finished one of our Smoky Mountain hikes. And she's my first official trail magic, and what a trail angel she's been. So thank you, Beth. I really appreciate you. Also want to hats off to Dave, Ruth Ann, and Shannon Rabeau. They're in Blairsville, along with Chris, Colleen, Urbanek. They're the owners of the Seasons Hotel. What a great first town trip. Really set the bar high for any other trail towns we went into after that. Shannon was a player of Carrie's back in the 80s, and they found out Carrie was going to be on the trail, and they extended their amazing hospitality out to us. And what a great way that was just an amazing time. They were so generous, so hospitable. Really appreciated meeting them, what great people they are. So wanted to give a shout out to the Westmorelands. He was one of Carrie's principals. And she was another teacher. She was a teacher as well. But they offered their cabin out to us, and just very generous. Really appreciate that. That was so nice of them. It really made it a lot nicer for us as we got off the trail on our second stop. Trying to heal up some of my wounds and let my legs rest a little bit. So thank you very much to the Westmorelands. Shout out to some of the people that I met along the way. Jasper, my accountant, he was one of the first people we met and hiked with. Did a couple stealth camps with him. We met 12, Kula, Bearbait, B, Multifunction, so many others. Dave and Todd, who were our veterans as well. Kula's a veteran. Hometown, who's a veteran and who was also one of our shuttle drivers. We met Brian and his wife Rhonda. I believe he goes by Pigpen. We've seen them on and off the trail, and our last time I saw him was when we were at Fontana Dam. So also wanted to give a shout out to the Warrior Expedition. This is a project that helps veterans transition from their wartime experiences either through hiking, biking, or paddling. And they provide resources to help these guys hike the whole Appalachian Trail, support along the way through other veterans organizations like the VFW and so on. Met several that were using this Warrior Expedition to do their hike. Just amazing experience. One of the other things I wanted to talk about a little bit was the Outdoor 76. Witnessed firsthand the #1 customer service first and foremost, and then the care by the owners, Rob and Corey, and the rest of their staff. There at Outdoor 76 in Franklin, North Carolina. Being a retired orthotist, I took a special interest in how they evaluated and took care of their customers needing footwear. So I got to watch as Carrie, my sister, was getting new shoes. They spent over an hour with her. There was no rushing. Took a lot of time with her. Found her shoes, and she's loving them. She's done just their extra time. And again, they're not just trying to get a buck. Otherwise, they'd be rushing in and out and just slapping whatever shoe on you. I was really impressed with their knowledge of the biomechanics of the foot. They're self-taught, and they're just the experience. So it's proven just by how well they do. So, and now Carrie's knocking out the miles. So special shout out to my cousin George. He was going to pick us up at Newfound Gap, where I was getting off. However, he was called out to rescue 2 hikers who got lost. He's on the search and rescue team for Red River Gorge in Kentucky. We were able to get a ride from the trailhead by Bear Paw, along with Multifunction. Caboose Season 1 and I were able to squeeze into the back of this minivan that was converted for van life. So there weren't any seats. We were really crammed in there, but again, I think that was just part of the experience of trail life. So it was good, even though Carrie laughed at me because my hips were cramping. It was terrible. But very thankful for the ride. And again, it was an experience. So we were able to meet up with our cousin George that afternoon. He came in. We all did lunch, dinner together, and breakfast the next morning, and just, catching up on things. We always used to get together when we were kids. Of course, we're all older now, live in different places, and our families have grown. So it's hard to do the family reunions like we used to. We'd love to get together with everybody again. It'd be amazing. But, thank you to George, another trail angel. I mean, he, very generous. And it was great to see him. He drove 4 hours just to see us. And then he was able to hike with Carrie and Caboose, or Season 1. I mean, he hiked with them for a couple miles while I started my journey back. Beth came and picked me up, took me back to my truck. So, and so speaking of Season 1, so thankful Susan from Massachusetts became part of our tramily. So since Carrie and I were family, we went from family to trail family or tramily. And great, she was just fit right in. I'm so thankful that when I got off the trail, her and Carrie were going to continue to hike together. I appreciate her patience with us trying to imitate the Massachusetts accent. But one last time, I think that was wicked smart. So anyways, hard to believe my hike's over. It seemed like it took forever to get the first 100 miles. And then the next thing I knew, we were at Newfound Gap, and 208 miles was behind us. I keep saying 208 because that was the actual mile marker for Newfound Gap. I think I could best describe this experience as level 2 fun, which Carrie taught me about. Parts were tough, maybe even a little miserable. But when you look back, it was one of the best experiences of my life. Again, if you would have asked me 10 years ago, because again, I remember on family reunions, Carrie would say, "Hey, I'm going to take the nephews and nieces for a hike. Does anybody want to go?" I was still smoking, overweight, and I was like, "No, I'm staying here," and smoking my cigarette. So I thought that part of my life was way past me, and I would never be back to that. So, because I used to be pretty active, pretty athletic. So just tickled that I had the opportunity to do this. So now what's next? Taking a little time off, let my knees heal. Probably start next week doing my 5-mile walks in the morning, doing yoga. Most of my wounds on the back of my leg are dried up and healing. So looking forward to doing some hikes with my wife. We're going to do some exploring around. Let's see. Looking forward to getting out on the lake. We just bought a pontoon boat probably 2 weeks before the hike. So we're looking forward to getting back out on the lake. We love spending time out there. We're hoping to meet Carrie and Susan at Katahdin at the end of their hike. And then wife and I are looking forward to a lot of road trips. Just trying to, we want to go see the Ark. So many different places. Want to get down to Blairsville and see the Rabots. I want to stop in a lot of the towns that we stopped in along the way. Just do things as retirees that we didn't have a chance to do before because of work. Again, as I said before, when I retired at the end of 22, we didn't anticipate retiring then. They closed my clinic. And in January, I was down in Florida helping mom. And on and off there, 2-3 months at a time, come back for a week until she passed at the end of August, which was a blessing. You never know when something that seems like it'd be detrimental, like closing your clinic unexpectedly, was such a huge blessing. Gave me so much time with mom. and my twin brother Rick and his wife Jolene, and my aunt and uncle down in Florida, and Carrie, that I wouldn't have normally had. And I might have had a week or two with mom had I kept working. So thankful for that time. My wife has been amazing, supporting me with all this. With the time I spent down with my mom, and then I got back. We got back in October, and then just kind of slowly getting ready for the hike, which seems like a long time, but again, just a lot of stuff goes into getting ready for it. So, again, thank you all for following. I'm looking forward to following Carrie's hike, Carrie and Susan's hike up to Maine from here. So, again, thank you all for following. This has just been an amazing trip. Thank you so much.